Hi, so this is a demo video for Skills.sh and I'll be showcasing a website Travigo which I vibe coded to understand the difference when we use skills and when we don't use skills. So skills are nothing but reusable capabilities for AI agents. We just simply install them with a single command to enhance the agent's procedural knowledge. Couple of skills that we'll be using in this demo are Next.js app router patterns, frame of motion animations, shared scene, tailwind, and front-end designs. I'll be using the same model in both cases when I'm using the skills and when I'm not using the skills, which is Claude Opus 4.5. And I'll be using anti-gravity and VS Code for the demonstration. So let's first take a look at when we don't use skills and what happens. So in this case, I'm using agent and Claude Opus 4.5. I've given it a prompt, like let's say you are a senior web and design engineer. I've given it a basic, background knowledge about Travigo, which is a hypothetical, agency, travel-based agency. And I've given it a task, some product descriptions, which page it has to build, like what all sections it has to build, the requirements and the tech stack. So the tech stack that I'm planning to use here is Shared CN, Next.js, Tailwind CSS, and Framer Motion. So it has started the task. Let me remind you that there are no skills present here. It is doing it on its own. Once it has done, once it completed the task, let me show you the website itself. This is the website. It gave a smooth animation here, but once you completely load the website, you see the flaws properly, like the pulse animation that it has done on this live trip overview. Some bullet point animations that it has done are not proper, and in fact there are some accessibility issues as well when you are seeing this pulse animation over text. Apart from that, like if you can see, the card height and width are not proper. There are a couple of small animations on translate Y that it has done, which don't actually look that great. It has built this section really well, but there are spacing issues that I can see. This section, which is trusted by section, wasn't asked, and still it has built it, right? This is the pricing section that it built, and this is the footer section that is there. Now let's take a look at when we use skills, what happens. So now I'm on anti-gravity. I've given it the same prompt. I've given it the role of senior web and design engineer. I've given it background knowledge, task, product description, and page section to be included, and some requirements that use these relevant skills when required. These are present within the .agents folder that I have, and the tech stack is Shared CN, Next.js, Tailwind CSS, and Framer Motion. So if I tell you, like, Next.js app router patterns is a skill that will help me upskill in Next.js. Whatever Next.js skills are required to build an app, all these are present in this. And Framer Motion animations will basically help me get those animation on the front end. And then we have Shared CN, which is a component library. It will help us import all the well-known patterns in Shared CN on our page. And then we have Tailwind CSS patterns to properly use the Tailwind CSS classes and all these things. And then we have the most important one, front-end design. This will help us, build a good front-end interface without, generating that AI slop and similar AI-looking websites. So if I come here, another thing I forgot to mention was that when I was using this, when I was not using skills, if I go here and type out Shared CN, the only place I could see that Shared CN was used in was in components.json, and nowhere else did it use Shared CN, even though it was mentioned in the tech stack. But if I come here on where I was using skills, I can see Shared CN was explicitly used in a lot of places. Let's say I'm using the button component. Button component was properly used in header components like this, in CTA buttons, mobile menu buttons, and lot of different places. So it did use Shared CN. So let me show you the website. If I go to localhost 3000, you'll see beautiful animation coming in, and there are animations when you hover over things. There are some gradient effects, and if you zoom in, you'll see a basic grid effect also behind it. uh, Along with that, you can see that stars are also properly aligned, and everything has been done very meticulously, in my opinion. uh, this section also looks really good, with all the icons present properly, with rounded borders and proper demarcation between what's heading and what's copy text or sub statements. After that, if you see this testimonial section, I think it has been done perfectly, with the person's image, designation, and the place where they live. This is also functional. And the pricing card is also highlighted properly, wherein you can see which is the most popular plan, and it has that gradient effect behind it, along with a dark color to make it distinguishable. Then we have the CTA and a good contrast between the main section and the CTA and footer. And yeah, that was all about it. I think with Skills.sh, the website was made really beautifully, and I think we can probably use it. That's all for this video. Thanks.